Hi everyone, it's Tara with Secret Bee Studio, and I'm going to show you how to create a beautiful traveler's notebook out of your favorite paper collection. This one is showcasing the Simple Stories beautiful paper collection, stickers, and ephemera. And I'm going to give you a tutorial on how to make the notebook, cover the inserts, and make a beautiful little paper crafted insert for it. Okay, so you're going to start out with some chipboard, 2 pieces for the cover, cut at 5 7/8 inches by 9 inches. You can easily change that for the size of insert that you'll be using. And then there's 1 small piece for the spine at 1 1/8 inch by 9 inches. I have rounded the outside corners of my traveler's notebook just so it's easier for the paper to fold around them. And I'm also using lots of score tape because it holds the paper so well on the top of the chipboard. You will also need 2 pieces of patterned paper for the front and back covers of your traveler's notebook. I used one 12 by 12 sheet so that they would match. And once you have decided which you want for the covers, go ahead and remove the adhesive from your chipboard and lay your pieces on the wrong side of the paper and make sure that your rounded corners are to the outside. You're going to want to leave a little bit of gap, about 3/4 of an inch, and that's what we're going to fold up onto the chipboard. So go ahead and put your chipboard pieces down on your patterned paper and make sure that you push down very well. We're going to add a little bit of adhesive to the edges. This is where we're going to be folding our papers up, and just to the edges where you have paper. As you can see, mine hangs over a little bit. That's where I added that extra adhesive that I didn't really need, but that's okay. It's going to be covered up with something else. We're going to start at the corners and make sure you hold your paper tightly and fold both of those corners in, and then fold the ends up and make sure you press down on the adhesive. Once you get both ends done, then you can go to the side, and that will be your last piece to fold up. Do this for both pieces so that you will have your front and back covers completely covered on the front side with the patterned paper. The next thing you're going to need is some sticky back canvas. These come in 8.5 by 11 sheets, and I have cut this one to 3 inches by 11 inches. And you will be adhering this to the right side or the pattern side of your paper. You can see that it has a sticky back, so go ahead and remove that adhesive sheet. You're going to take your 1 1/8 by 9 inch piece of chipboard and put it directly in the center of that sticky back canvas. Then you're going to take each of your covers and put them right next to it, making sure the top and bottoms are even, and leave about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch between your pieces of chipboard. This will allow the book to open and close very easily. Go ahead and bend it before you start folding anything else in, just so you can make sure that you have enough room there with your sticky back canvas. Once you have that completed, go ahead and fold up the ends, covering the chipboard on the inside and your patterned paper. And I use my thumb and I just go in those creases just so it will fold much easier. And again, you can keep folding it. The sticky back canvas is pretty thin. It folds pretty easily. Okay, cut 2 more pieces of patterned paper for the inside of the traveler's notebook. My pieces are 5 5/8 inches by 8 3/4. I've also rounded the 2 outside corners to match the outside corners of the traveler's notebook. And go ahead and use whatever adhesive you really like to adhere these to the inside covers. I again am using score tape just because I really like the way it holds. Make sure that when you're adhering the inside papers to your traveler's notebook, avoid those creases near the spine so that when you fold your notebook, that paper will not be in the way. Once you've adhered the patterned paper to the inside of your notebook, we're going to cover up that spine with some bookbinding tape. Mine is 2 inches wide and I got mine on Amazon. You're going to cut it just to the inside length of that book. You don't want any edges hanging over. So go ahead and adhere it to the inside of that spine. It's very sticky and very easy to apply. You will also need some elastic cord. This is to hold your inserts, and I'm also using a Tim Holtz loop. It's an elastic loop, and that will go around the whole traveler's notebook. I've made a mark, and I'm just going to use my Crop-A-Dile and cut a hole on the back of my traveler's notebook and thread that Tim Holtz loop through. It has a little metal clasp at the end so it holds very easily, and you can see it wraps around the whole entire notebook and keeps it closed. So next we're going to be putting in our elastic cord. This comes in a variety of color, and I bought mine at Joann. And I am just measuring the center of my insert here so I get it marked in the right spot. And we're going to be punching 3 holes using our crocodile. So I'm going to put 1 hole at the center of the top and bottom, and then 2 more about 1/4 inch apart on either side of that center hole. Use the small end of your crocodile and punch those 3 holes. Now when we're threading this elastic cord, it's easiest to remember those holes at the top, 1, 2, and 3, bottom 4, 5, and 6. And I'm just going to do some quick measurements here with this cord, but it's pretty stretchy, and you will see that I end up with quite a bit extra at the end. Once you have your cord measured and cut, you're going to start on the outside of your notebook at hole number 5 and insert 1 end of the cord through. And we're just going to leave a little bit of tail here on the inside. Then you're going to take the other end of the cord and from the outside insert that into hole number 6. Go to the inside of the book and you're going to pull that cord all the way up, and you're going to insert it from the inside out through hole number 3. Again, pull that cord, and then you're going to go from the outside through hole number 2 on the top. So it will just go across, come back in the inside of the book, go down, and go out through hole number 5, the first hole that you started with. Pull tight, go across from the outside, and thread that through hole 4 on the bottom. And then you will be going from the inside out through hole number 1. And you'll pull that again and go across on the outside to hole number 2. Insert that back through hole number 2 to the inside. Next, take those 2 inside pieces of cord and pull them together very, very tightly. The next step is to just adjust this cord, making sure that it's nice and taut. You will see that I move cords up and pull some down on the inside and the outside to make sure that they're nice and tight to hold those inserts in there very snugly. You don't want your inserts flopping around. So it's just a matter of moving the cords up and down and pulling them tightly. Once that's done, tie your cord off and cut it. Now I always like to make a pocket for the inside cover, and so I just have a piece of scratch paper here that is 5.5 inches by 6.5 inches, and I'm scoring both sides and the bottom at 1/4 inch. Fold those in, and then I cut the corners off at the bottom just so that they fold together very nicely. I'm also going to angle this corner, so I just pick a spot and I cut up to the corner. You can see I need to adjust it a little bit here. And then I'm going to take adhesive and put it on those edges that I folded over. Again, I'm using score tape because it holds so well. Then you can just put that pocket in there and it will hold all kinds of goodies. Now the inserts I'm using in my traveler's notebook are 8.25 by 4.25, and so I have just cut 2 pieces of pattern paper to cover the fronts of these little inserts, and then I'm going to use the rest of the collection to embellish them. Once you have your inserts all decorated the way that you would like, go ahead and insert them in the center of each into those elastic cords in your traveler's notebook. Now I'm going to show you how I made that insert using all of the patterned paper. I just took what remaining scraps I had of the 12 by 12 paper collection. This one I'm simply cutting into a tag and creasing it somewhat down the middle and adding a little bit of a tulle bow. The second sheet I am simply creasing right down the center at 5.5 and then folding and rounding the corners. I do this for this sheet and also for the second sheet. The third sheet I crease at 3.25 and again at 8.25 just so it has a little tri-fold. This piece of pattern paper is cut at 11 by 12 inches. I'm going to put the 12-inch side up at the top and score at 3.5 inches and then turn it so the 11-inch side is up and score it at 5.5. I'm going to crease all of those lines and you will see how it makes a little pocket here. Decide on the configuration, which paper you want up and on the inside, and then take a little bit of adhesive and put just on the edges of that 3.5-inch portion that folds up, and that will make your pocket. I'm also rounding the corners of this piece just to keep everything nice and uniform. This next piece of the insert is simply a strip of the 4x6 journaling cards that are still attached. I've creased down each section and then folded. Once you have all of your inserts cut and trimmed the way that you would like, go ahead and stack them together in your favorite way, and then you will find the center and insert it into your traveler's notebook using one of those elastic cords. The final step is to use the rest of your paper collection and decorate and embellish your traveler's notebook any way that you would like. Thank you for watching this tutorial. This has been Tara with Secret Bee Studio.